In this video, we're gonna learn how to do the Bengali drape. And I say we because in all of my research on how to do the Bengali drape, there are so many opinions and versions on how to do it properly. So today I'm gonna share with you one version that I think is beautiful. I would love to hear your comments below on other versions, or maybe there's a version that you know that I can attempt in the future. For those of you new to my channel, my name is Tia, and 3 years ago we started tiabhuva.com, which creates products that make the saree wearing experience more comfortable, beautiful, and enjoyable. I'm wearing some of my products today, and through this channel and our videos, I hope to share my love with you and really document all of these drapes to share with future generations. So first things first, as always, you want to iron the entire saree. I know this takes a little bit of time, but invest that time and your drape, both prepping and draping it, will be so much easier. Once you're done ironing, you want to pleat the pallu. So I'm just gonna put it over the ironing board, grab a couple of safety pins, and let's get pleating. Pleating is super easy. All you do is decide the width of the pleat that you want, and you pick up that width from the edge in the same spot. Approximately, doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, so again, I'm just gonna pinch in approximately the same spot and lift up the fabric and lay it over the next layer or pleat. So each layer is making a pleat. And as you go, you just wanna make sure that you're happy, and you wanna make sure this edge isn't peeking out over the topmost pleat. So you don't wanna see this. You wanna make sure it's hidden. You can adjust as you go along. And as you can see, they're kind of falling and coming off. So what I like to do is every 2 to 3 pleats, I'll pin it down so I don't lose my hard work. Okay, so I have about 3 pleats here. I'm gonna pin it down. I was so hung up on making each pleat exactly equal, and that doesn't need to be the case. As long as the pleats that come after the top pleat hides the rest, and it's like, if you're gonna fan it, you fan it on the outside, not on this side, then you're good. And you can do whatever it takes to ensure that you don't see any edges here. All right, so for the Bengali drape, you need an extra long pallu. So I'm just going to kind of extend these pleats. Just hold it with, like, hold where the last safety pin is with one hand and just kind of guide the pleats, and then put it down and pin them down. This is so much easier to do when you have that pinned. And then they just magically all fall into place. And I'm telling you guys, ironing the entire saree makes it that much more easier to do this, because if you have folds in the saree, it's so much harder to get the fabric to do what you want it to do. Trust me, iron your saree before you start doing this, and you'll be like, I'm a pro too. Once you've got your extra long pallu, you don't want to iron anything just yet. What you want to do is put it over your shoulder. And for the regular nivy drape, I wouldn't go this far. I would pretty much stop at my ankle. But because this is the Bengali drape and you're gonna do something with the pallu, you wanna make sure it's as long as possible. So it's basically grazing the floor right now. What I'm gonna do is undo that last pin. And I'm gonna start with the end in mind. And I think this is the secret to the Bengali drape, or getting it right. So what you're gonna do is bring up the end and hold it, take some pleats, and hold it to your right shoulder. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna see if you like where that's hitting. And if you like it, then that's your length, and you can put the pin here. If you think this is too, like, let's say you had done it this way. Let's say I brought it up like this and my pallu was this long. I'm gonna take this up And you could leave it like this, but I personally think it's not dramatic enough. So that's what the longer pallu does. So that's totally up to personal preference. And so I'm gonna leave it a little bit longer. So I'm basically leaving it to like graze the floor. And then I'm gonna show you what that looks like. Okay, so I like this. I'm gonna put a pin right here. Once you have that pin in at your shoulder and you've marked it on the pallu, you are ready to start draping. So because the Bengali drape, like you don't really know where the chest pleats are gonna end up, I prefer not to iron it before I drape. And if I want to press down the pleats or I'm working with a particularly puffy sari, I will go in with a hair straightener afterwards. Before I start draping, I just want to mention the importance of good undergarments. So I'm wearing the Saree Silhouette from tiabhuva.com. We have an elastic band and a drawstring that's made out of cotton, and it's super sturdy that will hold a heavy silk sari in place. Whatever petticoat you decide to wear, make sure it's comfortable. You can tie the drawstring really tight, but it's also movable and you are able to sit down cross-legged and just do your regular things. Some new age petticoats I feel like are super restrictive. The material we use is super stretchy, so it gives you the shape and the comfort, but it's also super stretchy and you can sit cross-legged. So make sure that whatever petticoat you decide to wear, it will hold the sari in place, but it will also be comfortable and easy for you to move in. You want to start the drape by tucking in the non-fancy end. You want to make sure that the end lightly grazes the floor. It's not too long so you don't trip over it, and it's not too short. You want to let it lightly glaze the floor, and you want to tuck it in very flat. So you don't want to scrunch this top bit like this. You just want to tuck it in very flat, and then do a twirl and tuck in as you go. I feel like I take more care in the front tucks than the back, and if you have any tassels like I do with this sari, just make sure you're doing an extra tuck to make sure that the tassels don't show through the bottom of your sari. And then I'm just gonna tuck that in and then go to my pallu. And the biggest difference between the Bengali drape and the Nivi drape is that with the Nivi drape, I would bring it around and then put it over my left shoulder. This, I'm just gonna put it right on. So that safety pin where I marked the pallu or the shoulder, I'm gonna leave it there. And then what I'm gonna do is take very wide pleats. I would say like the length of the front of your body, or like the width of the front of your body, just a little bit smaller than that. And you wanna just tuck in as you go. So you're basically taking very, very wide pleats. Just gonna fix the bottom. And once you get to the end, that you have like this much, I guess, fabric left, and I would say enough to kind of like wrap around the back, what you're gonna do is fan out your pallu and make sure that the pin is where you set it. Kind of like press this down. And then what you wanna do is take this and take it right to the back and tuck it in. There you have the front. You wanna make sure that the bottom pleats are all one length, and especially to the sides. So just make sure that you fix that, because I'm just tucking in a little bit more. So what you're gonna do is take a couple of pleats here and make sure that they all fall beautifully. And then you're gonna pin this to your right shoulder. And this is it. The reason I fell in love with this version of the Bengali drape is how beautifully it displays the pallu. If you guys have any other versions that you'd like me to attempt, please leave your comments, or anything else that I should know about the Bengali drape. I'd love to hear them. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you in a future video.